Good evening and welcome back to Talking Technical. Always a pleasure serving the community, and really thank you for all the emails, but it looks like a lot of local investors are looking at the overseas markets. Yes, they've still got appetite for the local market, but interesting, I can see that there's a lot of people that believe that the South African market is maybe not offering some value anymore. So let's see. The first question is from Trevor. Now, Trevor is asking about Barrack Gold. Trevor, I looked at this chart a while back, and remember, this is a weekly chart. And if I look at this chart, I mean, it's either a make or break chart. Now, look at this. There's the 40-week moving average, this red line here. And we've tested this before during May last year. And then suddenly we bang right here. But what we see here is that Barrack Gold tends to react quite nicely when it gets to this 40-week moving average. So, yes, first of all there, it turned into a resistance. It remained a resistance for quite a while, quite a few weeks, almost 6 months. Then it turned that into a support at $20. It rallied beautifully up, and now we're back there. So for me, if you want to buy Barrack Gold, I think the first step is to see if this 40-week moving average holds. Now, if it does hold, then I think you may be on the right path. If you do want to buy, I'll wait for that little line. Let's see, where's that little line to? Oh, it's so close. That will be the first little resistance. That will be above $20.89 American cents. And if I buy above that, I will either use the 40-week moving average, but that's such a stop loss. I will use a little bit of a broader one, and my broader one will be there. You are 1946, and if it can turn that into a support and remain above that line there, then you know it can maybe go back to 21.93, 22.26, 22.53, 23.40, and maybe I think at around 23.80 we'll probably have a point where it is already overbought again, and maybe then it's time to see if you can lock in some profit. Rosie is asking about Walmart. Now, Rosie, I know this is one of the top companies of the world. What I don't like about the chart is, can you see this overhang resistance around this $150, $155 level? And it looks like every time that the share gets there, and I mean that is since 2020, every time that it gets in that region, then I just draw in that line for you. Then you can see more or less what I'm talking about. There's the overhang resistance. It's just a broad line. And every time that it gets there, we see some sellers coming for, and then they sell the share. Now, what I don't like about the share is the following. First of all, I want to show you here. There's the trend line. Look what happened there. I can take this trend line a little bit further for you to show you. There you are. Remember, this is a weekly chart once again. Either use that piece there, so I would rather see that as a false break, that piece there. And the reason why, it's an interesting scenario here. The more places that the support line gets pierced or touched, the stronger the support line is. And I also, and I've said it on the previous show, remember, if a support line gets tested once, twice, 3, 4 times, and if it breaks then you must know that there is some selling around here. And this is what happened. What happened, the share broke below the support line. That support line was at 139, and it was there for a brief moment, 3-4 weeks, and then it rallied to the top. Then it found this overhang resistance around this 155 level, and it lost momentum again. What do we see now? We see a waterfall formation. I don't see any blip turning around there. Let's just see if there is maybe a candle already telling us, oh no, just have a look here. This is an ugly weekly candle. I mean, this is definitely, unless it changes around and turn around and it goes up, for me, it is an ugly Marubuzu candle. But I mean, look at this bottom here, right at the bottom. At the moment, it's at its lows, and that is a shaven bottom candle. So, Rosie, for me, not to buy. I will first of all, to see if that support there is tested. Let's just draw in a line there. That support is waiting at, there you are, is waiting at 132.20. And if it bounces off there, yes, then something to look at. And then maybe you can use a stop loss of 126. But unfortunately, at the moment, momentum down, ugly candles. Look at this classic evening star formation right at the top. I mean, I did a course the other day on technical, especially candlesticks, with somebody on Zoom. And what did I see? I told him bearish candle, ugly reversal candle, bullish candle, ugly reversal candle, bearish candle. That's an evening star formation. Even that little dragonfly doji was somewhere exactly just moved across or just shoved through this candle. I mean, that's negative. There you are, 4 ugly weeks all the way to the downside. That is a negative. He's asking about Astral Foods, and this is of course another weekly chart. And what is me? I mean, a few days ago I analyzed it for somebody, and I said, well, there's a strong resistance, and there you are. I just want to show you the resistance that I put. There was the strong resistance. I then said share must get above that level. I just want to show you there. It must get above that 160.70 level to make me excited. Suddenly this candle, I mean, we early days in this week, this candle tells me now something. This candle tells me it touched the 40-week moving average. It turned it into a resistance. So for me, the candle must close above 163.74 by Friday to make me any little bit of optimistic. But what worries me is this now. Suddenly this appears now. Because I didn't worry about this candles or this set of candles, but what worries me suddenly is this candle. This can easily turn into an inverse hammer or even a teardrop candle. I don't like it because what do I see? First thing here, I see this little line here. I draw it in here. So for me, it's quite important. The share needs to get above this 40-week moving average. Otherwise, we're sitting here with a left shoulder, a head, and ich may be working on a right shoulder. So yes, the company is printing money, but I'm a little bit worried. These maize prices and wheat and corn prices that you see around the world just rallying on, and the rand with a little bit of weakness, we can easily see that even inflation starts to worry these guys. Because remember, they can pass it on to you and me if we buy some chicken or eggs from them. But at some point, people just say, maybe we trim back on the meat bag. Maybe we eat less chicken or eggs. And then suddenly these guys will feel it. And then you get, almost you can pull it short. One side is the consumer doesn't buy. And the other one is prices are running away so they don't make a profit. I don't say that's going to happen. The only thing I say is I see this left shoulder, the head and the right shoulder, and where will I get worried? I will only get worried below 134.46, so it's a long way from here. For me, I'm going to play a little bit safe. I'm going to draw a line in the bottom of that candle. The bottom of that candle is 154.89. So for me, the first sign of weakness will be this 40-week moving average that turned into a resistance. If the share closed below that 154.89, then I know maybe we're seeing the start of this ugly right shoulder. And why do I nervous about it? Look at the left shoulder's top. That's very close where we see some sellers here. So yes, I'm a little bit nervous. And where's the target? Let's use the conservative target. If it plays out in full, can you believe that? And I mean, look at that one. I'll also use that one for an illustration. If that neckline turns into a, if that neckline turns into a resistance, there you are. I just want to draw it. First target will be 118.38. And remember, this is a top company. And if it plays out in full, it can easily go to 102.09. And whoa, it can take it quite a way back. Where was this? This support was last seen around 2016. So let's hope that I'm wrong and it doesn't go below this level. There's the level 111.30. If it drops below that, things can really turn nasty. So for me, if I see a chart like this, if I see a possible head and shoulder, for me, unfortunately, I will not buy. But of course, if you want to buy and you want to chase momentum, chase it above 167, make use of that stop loss of 154.89, and maybe it can go to the previous high of 193. I think then the corn prices needs to come back a little bit. Sally is asking about Canadian solar, and I mean there's a lot of people in South Africa that's looking at solar solutions at the moment, and Canadian solar is one of the big boys around. I mean, they are some of the big producers around the world, and I know some of the top distributors in South Africa is selling their product, and I mean, what do we see here? I'm seeing a share that's under pressure, that where the momentum is 100% to the downside. And what worries me is this: we are in the middle of this falling wedge. Now, a falling wedge usually is positive, but we are below the 40-week moving average. We don't see a proper reversal candle here. So for me, unfortunately, Sally, I'll wait either for this bottom end, $18.77, before I will look at buying it, because then I buy it as close as possible to this support line, and it can maybe bounce back to the resistance line. I will then use a stop loss of 1574. I will only get positive, and there you are, that 40-week moving average. I will get positive if it gets above 30 to 90. Then I know it can go up, and it can maybe play out to 44. At the moment, I think it's maybe time to sit on your hands with Canadian solar, but in the meantime, maybe install some solar at your own house, because it looks like the grid is a little bit under pressure. Well, thank you for watching the show. Visit our website, www.fransdeklerk.com, for more info, and we will chat again.